Hello, it is Topical Tuesday, May 19th, 2020. Steve Sipress here, and a survey. It was a survey, whatever you call it, just came out yesterday saying that the average American makes 6 excuses a day. That's over 2,000 excuses a year, which is all good and fine and well for the average American, but for business owners, that's not a good thing. And I often tell people that my job is basically listening to excuses all day. As a business consultant, I talk to business owners all day long, and I used to be one. In fact, when I destroyed my first multi-million-dollar business, and you can see now I've come to terms with the truth, and I say I destroyed it, but at the time, I just blamed it on everything else and made up lots of excuses and said it was because of this, because of that, because of this, till somebody asked me about a year later, probably trapped me and baited me into telling this ridiculously incorrect story and blaming and making excuses up, and they just looked at me and said, so were you the only business in your industry? Were there any others? And I'm like, yeah. Any of those still exist, or did they all go out of business too? And that's when the light bulb went off and I got it. And I said, aha, you got me. So obviously it wasn't because of this outside factor and the economy and the this and the that and the whatever I was talking. It was because of me. Not every business went under. It's the same thing here. No matter what industry you're in, some are extremely harder hit than others. Bars, restaurants, whole entertainment industry, hotel, airlines, events, concerts, sporting events, all that kind of stuff. And for me, I make my living hosting live events for the past well over a decade. I've hosted hundreds of seminars and in-person live events for business owners, and that all went away a couple of months ago. So it's easy to say, hey, it's because of the coronavirus. It's because of the great shutdown. It's because of blah, blah, blah. And that's really the worst thing you can do. You got to look in the mirror and say, okay, all that stuff is happening. What am I going to do about it? And if you think the chaos ended when things started opening back up again, there's more chaos than there was certainly during the shutdown, where everything was just shut down. That was simple. I mean, big businesses, of course, get to stay in business. Big government always loves big business and hates small business. It's never been more obvious before than now. Now it's extremely obvious that small business is getting crapped all over. You could sell the exact same stuff as a big box store, and you're mandated to be shut down while the big stores are packed. In fact, they're more packed because the small businesses are shut down. So, big government knows what it's doing. It's killing the small businesses, which is propping up the big businesses, which props up the stock market and makes everything more simple. And that's, of course, who are the big donors to corrupt politicians, which is all politicians. The big donors are, of course, big businesses, a lot more than small business. So they have every reason to favor them. It's not like this is some kind of news, shocking news or anything that's, inexplicable or surprising. But my point is, we as business owners, entrepreneurs, need to be better than the average American. And we need to look in the mirror whenever anything goes wrong and go, all right, something's wrong. What am I going to do about it? And then later on, I always say, if you want to go back and say, how did that happen? Whose fault was it? Where was the blame, so that we don't want it to happen again? But when it happens the first time, if milk spills on the ground, the average American who likes making 6 excuses a day and blaming and excuse making, first thought is, who spilled the milk? Business owner can't be like that. Business owner's first thought is, there's spilled milk on the ground. Let's clean that up. And then only after it's cleaned up, if you really want, and I never want to, then you can start asking who did that and whose fault was it and what. I just don't care. I'm results oriented. So business owners, to be successful, we want to be results oriented. Let the average Americans be excuse oriented. So that shouldn't be news to anyone that the average American makes 6 excuses a day. By the way, the biggest ones are the same I hear all the time from business owners. Number one was, I'm tired, I'm too tired. The translation for business owners is, I'm too busy. I'm doing so much other stuff. I don't know if I can't be doing that also. So there, as I always say, a wise mentor said it to me years ago, they're so busy staying broke, they don't have time to make money. And number two is that excuse, I don't have the money. And number three is I don't have the time. And I hear that all the time. Oh man, I'd love to get that done and this done and put that system into place. That's a great idea, Steve. Just, I can't afford it, or I don't have the time, or I'm too busy. You don't want to be like the average American, Mr. or Mrs. Business owner watching this, or entrepreneur. Every time you feel yourself blaming some outside force, anybody or anything else than you, or making an excuse, maybe you'll remember this video, you'll catch yourself, and you'll become results-oriented and said, hey, wait a minute. I don't really even care whose fault it is or why or what's the reason, but the point is this is the situation we're in, and what am I going to do about it? And again, if you think the chaos ended when things started opening up, there's more chaos than ever. I talked to someone today, and he said, gee, he has clients that are, he's one of the top, probably the top marketer to bars and restaurants. And he said, man, they're all bent out of shape because there's all different guidelines and rules and regulations for when they can open up, from federal government guidelines, and then there's the state says this, and the municipality said that, and the county says this, and then on top of it, you see all the time, if you watch the news, how the cops even come out, the sheriff makes a statement, says, I'm not going to enforce this stupid shutdown, lockdown rules, let's get back to work and get back to being a free society. And then the cops show up and say, I posted yesterday into my private Facebook group, Profit from Chaos, I posted in there about this gym owner down the shore in New Jersey, in Camden near Philly, and cops came by because the government said, oh, he can't open up, he's going to be out of compliance, and a big crowd came up to support the gym owner, and the cops showed up, and they just said, technically, you're all out of compliance, but have a nice day, goodbye. But then, of course, an hour later or something, they showed up. You think just because they changed their mind, it's likely somebody changed their mind for them and said, go back there and give them a piece of your mind. And so they gave them a citation, a fine, a court date, or whatever. But that's what I'm talking. That's chaos. Are the cops going to arrest me? I don't know. No, they said, have a nice day, and they left. Oh, but then they came back. What are the regulations? Is that a law, or is it a guideline? Is it a regulation? Up in wherever it was, another post I made last week, and you've probably seen all this, into my private Profit from Chaos Facebook group, about how, I think this one was the Dallas hairdresser, and, you're not allowed to open there, and the court this and that. And then there was Wisconsin, I think, the court overrules the governor and says that's unconstitutional, and immediately the bars start filling up and the suppliers start sending kegs of beer out to the bars. And this is massive chaos, folks. Should you open up? Should you do this? Should you do that? Should you comply with this? Listen to that? Will people come in even if you do all this stuff, or are you wasting your time and money just attempting to stay in business when you should have closed the doors and found something else to do, or found a different way to deliver a different deliverable or the same deliverable? How now? Massive chaos is reigning all over the place. Well, I have written a free report. You go to profitfromchaos.com, you get my report, How to Profit from Chaos. More importantly, you get an invitation to my private Facebook group, Profit from Chaos, where every day I and other sharp business owners that are overcoming the odds and overcoming all the beatdown that small business has been getting for months and will continue for months or years to come, we're all helping each other out. So you get that invitation to that private group by going to profitfromchaos.com. So not the time to go it alone, if you ask me. I hope you join us so you can get out of excuse and blame world and misery world and frustration world and confusion world, and get into making a lot more fun, making a lot more money, having a lot more fun, having a lot less stress. Go to profitfromchaos.com. That'll do it for Topical Tuesday. I'll catch you back here tomorrow on World Wide Web Wednesday. Over and out. Bye-bye.